Today we are giving our review so far on Resident Evil Requiem. Does this entry continue Resident Evil's excellent run of form, or is it a fall from grace? Let's find out on the Late Night Gamer podcast. Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer podcast. I'm your host, Welchy, and joined tonight, as always, by my co-hosts, Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hello, guys. Happy to be back. And I feel like you're going to have to add a new title to my name too, Welchy. Maker of intros, maybe.
Maker of intros, yes, 2 for 2. Yeah, 2 for 2.
This one's a lot better than your other one.
And speaking of new intros, we're also joined by Mr. 10 out of 10, Stephen.
I also think Resident Horror Expert, particularly for this episode, is also very, very fitting. I mean, it's been like, what a horror day. Obviously, we've just spoke about Scream 7 on the movie podcast. To have Resident Evil Requiem out on the same day as well, like, for someone who loves horror, like, this has just been, like, glorious. Like, give me more days like this.
Hopefully, our review of this is more positive than Scream 7. So yeah, Resident Evil came out on Friday. I actually went to the cinema Thursday night, and my film ended at 5 to 12, and I got home as quick as I could to get onto Resident Evil. I ended up getting on about 15:15 and played about 30 minutes that night. But we're going to go into all of that and how long we've all played in a minute. But obviously, Resident Evil Requiem is the 9th mainline entry. Obviously, there's loads of different spin-offs in this series. But this is a 9th mainline. It is not a direct continuation of Village. It is more of a sequel to 2 and 4. Obviously, Leon is involved, and Leon's stories in 2 and 4. Other than that, let's get straight into it. So, Open Critic. Obviously, this is important because it is in my Fantasy Critic draft.
Yeah, I wanted this one.
As of earlier today, it has gone back up to 89.
So close to the 90 mark.
Which means both of my games so far that I've released have both been 89, with Mugenics as well.
Good start, yeah.
So I'm on to a flying start. And I've overtaken Stephen, who had 2 85s. So not far ahead, but far enough.
Thanks for that.
Metacritic. You'll also remember we also did Metacritic predictions on this game.
We did.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said now.
So I'm going to remind you, and Jack, you'll be reminded as well. I actually spoke about this at the end of my stream last night, so Jack actually knows already. Resident Evil Requiem. So, Andy, you gave it a 92.
Oh, damn.
This is Metacritic, by the way. I've not told you the Metacritic score yet.
I know, it's not that high.
Stephen, you went 87.
Yeah.
Jack went 89.
He could be dead on with that.
I went 88.
It's either 88 or 89, I think.
I can tell you that one of us has got it bang on.
Yeah.
I can tell you, Andy, you got 0 points on this one.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
The score was 88. I've got it bang on.
Oh, wow. It could still change, to be fair.
It can still change by the end of the year, obviously. It can go up or down.
Could come down to 87. It won't go lower than that.
No, and I don't think it's going to go much higher than 89. Andy, I don't think you're going to get any on this one, unfortunately.
No.
But at least you get minus. It's always important just not to get the minus.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah. 92, that was bold. That was incredibly bold.
And when it launched, it was on 90, so it was looking good. That would have got you a point, being 2 away. So yeah, obviously very solid showing. I think I was reading this is the highest entry since Resident Evil 4. Beaten 5 and 6, obviously a bit lower anyway, but beaten 7 and beaten Village in particular. So very, very well received critically. And on Metacritic audience score, which I don't like Metacritic's audience score because I feel like anyone can post on there, and you hear so many stories about people review bombing and stuff. Not in this case so far. It's on a 9.5. So it's very high.
What, out of 10?
Yes. Yeah. I just always wonder how many people have actually fully beating it, how many people are just rating it on, like we are, I guess, today, like earlier perceptions.
Early impressions.
And I think you can even sometimes submit a report and before you've even played the game. Like you don't have to prove evidence that you've played it. So
no. It's like on the PlayStation Store when the God of Sparta game came out. There was tons of reviews on it already. It literally just came out.
Yes, I don't I'm not using that as a gauge of how good this game is. Obviously, it's just
No.
interesting to know. I'm sure if Capcom piss someone off, they'll get their review bombed at some point. So, what do we think of the game? Actually, before we go into what we think of this game, I did see an article earlier, and I'm reading from Game Rant. I'll read this word for word. Resident Evil Requiem launched on February 27th for all major platforms and is currently dominating the Steam charts by becoming the biggest launch title for the franchise. The game has already passed 314,000 players at time of writing, and that is concurrent, like 314,000 players playing at one time on Steam only. Cementing its legacy on the very first day of its release. Previously, this record was held by the highly acclaimed... and that doesn't account the Resident Evil 4 remake that I was talking about. That's higher, but I'm not counting remakes. But the highest for the franchise was the Resident Evil 4 remake with around 170,000. So almost, almost double. Which is insane. And I think obviously there's been a lot of anticipation for this one. Having Leon in this game, a lot of people wanted more Leon, and to have him, and he's in number 4 as well. This one's obviously been highly anticipated and has done very, very well so far. This is the second time that a Resident Evil game starring the famous Raccoon City survivor Leon Kennedy has become the biggest launch title for Resident Evil franchise, obviously.
Have Leon in your game, you're going to do well.
Honestly, if I'm them right now, I'm thinking, how do we get him into Resident Evil 10? Because he's obviously selling copies, which is weird to say about a game character, but he is. So we're going to talk about our review so far. So for those who are listening, none of us have beaten it. It only came out on Friday. We all have jobs. We all have commitments on the weekends and whatnot. But we've tried to play as much as we can, and we will be doing a full review in 2 weeks' time, I believe. So, I can't play this week, so I won't have it beaten for at least 2 weeks. So you can look forward to that. But for now, we're going to give our early thoughts on the game. I have played 7 hours, basically on the dot. Stephen, you've played the same?
Yeah, 7 hours.
Andy, I know it's less than us.
Yeah, just under 2 hours for me.
Just under 2 hours. So
slacking.
I know Andy's been busy, and I mean, we'll it's a hobby at the end of the day. We didn't get the code early. If we got the code early, we'd have it beaten. But
I was even joking to say, or maybe too scared to play, has to wait till it's light and bright.
I think. Well, this is your first Resident Evil, Andy, like properly.
Yeah, probably.
If you beat it, it'll be your first one you beat.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's start with you, Andy. What do you think of so far of your early impressions? In terms of spoilers, I guess we've got to keep it very light. It's a very new game, but I am very interested to know roughly where you are.
Okay.
To get a gauge of what you haven't seen, basically, more than anything.
Yeah, so where I ended it was... I don't know how much is sort of spoiler with this, but...
Who are you playing
I'm back as Grace again, with a gun. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but...
Yeah, no, you're exactly where I thought you might be.
Yeah, so I've literally just gone through the barred gate that goes down, you have the meet up and stuff.
So you've played as Leon twice?
Yes, the walkthrough bit, like when you first see
in the city, and then in the
then again, cool. So I've played as Leon twice. And
I know exactly where you are.
Early impressions are good. Like, I'm enjoying it so far. Like, I will obviously say, for anyone that doesn't know me, that I don't really play horror games. I've got a lot more committed to horror films over the last few years and been enjoying those a lot more. But games, I haven't really played many. I think obviously the one that jumps out that I've completed recently is still Awake to the Deep. And other than that, I can't think of any others that I might have
Reanimal,
played.
technically.
Oh, Reanimal, I guess. But...
And The Last of Us, Andy.
Oh, shut up.
And The Last of Us, of course, being one of the major ones.
We're not doing this again.
Yeah, obviously Reanimal, but I don't really class that as like on the same level as the Resident Evil games.
And
I have obviously seen
Outlast trial. I know you've not beat the Outlast trials, but you have played quite a bit of that recently.
Yeah, Outlast Trials. So I've started to dabble a bit more in horror games. I do at some point want to go back and play Resident Evil 7 and Village, but I thought with the new one coming out, I'm more likely to jump on that and play it to also review for the podcast and stuff. So
Yep.
it's a lot easier
Yeah.
for me to do that. But yeah, first impressions, I thought the intro was really good with Grace. The way that you introduced to her, and then the whole sort of scene in the hotel. It is a hotel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brentwood Hotel. And then sort of the flashback scenes prior to that, sort of filling in some of the backstory of her character as well. And that place I thought was really cool. For me, I think I'm going to enjoy this a lot more than other horror games, just because I feel with the two characters, you go from the sort of intense, on the edge of your seat, for me anyway, sort of scenes with Grace, and then you sort of get a breather when you switch over to Leon, because he's the sort of action-packed combat gun-ho type character. So it sort of gives me a bit of a breather where I don't have to feel so on edge thinking, what the hell's going to jump out on me now, type sort of feeling. So when I first played as him going through the city, just shooting infected, I was like, okay, this is more my style, more my...
You were like, give me Leon.
Zone.
Give me
Literally.
Leon in every waking moment, please.
But then the way it honestly, on the bit I ended, I was like, fuck, now I'm pretty gonna want to play as Grace, because the way that ends with his character, I'm like, oh god, the next scene with him is probably going to be the more horror setting, I guess. Obviously I don't know, but I'll find out. Stephen's seen a video that Beth recorded as I was streaming on Twitch when I was playing, but I didn't have my camera on. Beth was obviously watching me play whenever I was making weird noises and doing things, and the bit where you're playing as Grace in the I don't know what it's called, the ward, or
like a
whatever they call that
place.
place. I don't know what you want to call that thing that comes
it
out.
has a name. It's the girl. It's called the girl.
The girl. Oh, it's just called the girl. Okay. Well, the girl that comes out, which is quite a funny name, I guess, for that character.
It's a loose interpretation of the word girl, but yeah.
Yeah. That character's introduction in this game, I was like, fucking hell. And then there's scenes where you're going around there where I'm like trying to escape the girl, and obviously with these sort of games there are jump scares, so that character appears out of nowhere at certain points, and I do sort of jump, and there is video proof of that, which Stephen has seen. I did try to put it in Discord to share, to show others, because it was entertaining, but yeah, file size it wouldn't let me, so I'll crop it down at some point and then try and put it back in again. But yeah, that whole sort of scene, like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, like with it being pitch black. I was like walking down towards the door and couldn't see anything. I was like, am I meant to go down there? And then I was like, okay, let me go the other ways where there are some lights on. But I quite like the way that they do the puzzles in this game. It's sort of, I haven't played the other Resident Evil games. Well, I have Resident Evil 3, I dabbled in a bit. But in terms of like the puzzles, I sort of felt it was similar to when I was watching you play Silent Hill, Welchy, in terms of you have you got to get the fuse, but then the fuse box is locked and you've got to get a tool to unlock that. So I don't think the puzzle side of things so far have been over complicated, and I quite like that. It's, you've got A, where you need to be, B, you need to get your tool, C, avoid the scary fucking monster that's trying to grab you. So yeah, I sort of enjoyed playing that area, although I was fucking shit myself, and I was like, obviously I was talking to the chat at the same time. It's like, I've got my safe zones. I know where the bright room. I read the book, the story book, and I was like, okay, that's obviously a hint to what you need to do. So I knew where my bright rooms were, and I run back to one of them, and obviously the girl comes out of holes wherever they are, sort of thing. I was like, fucking hell. So when that happened for the first time, I shit myself. Sort of realized what I had to do to sort of rotate around the girl to get to my bright rooms. And then there was another bit where I was like, ran back to my room and the lights were off, and I was like, fucking bastard. I was like, this is my safe zone, and now the lights are off. So it's sort of those moments where I sat still, took a breather, I was like, chat, what do I do? Where do I go?
Just you wait till you get into the next section. I just feel the bit that I've just done. It seems to us like, oh shit, Andy, you think that that's just the start? Wait till you get to the main course, mate.
Yeah, I can imagine this game's going to have a lot of those moments where it is intense and sort of dark areas. Obviously, it's classic horror sort of elements with you using the lighter. I was expecting at some point the lighter to sort of just run out of gas and not work while I'm in the middle of like this completely dark zone. But no, I'm finding it really fun at the moment. Like I said, I think it's a good balance so far of playing as Grace and Leon. The part where you're him as Leon, playing as Leon in the ward, and you get like the chainsaw and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's pretty sick. What you can do with that and stuff. I did die a couple of times. I let myself die to see when I was getting chased by the girl. I was like hiding behind something. I was like, will I die here because I'm in the dark and like will I still be able to get away with it? You can't. She will see you. You'll die. If you guys didn't know, by the way.
No, I did the
Yeah,
same. There was a
I've
moment
learnt-
where I hid somewhere. I was like, "Can she get me?"
Yeah.
And she got me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
I-
I was like,
I
I'm just gonna
also-
allow it to happen.
I've also learnt that the hard way of thinking that I'm one-upping her, and then realizing very quickly that no, I'm not one-upping her.
Yeah, and there's a part where you have to get to the toolbox to get the screwdriver, and I was like trying to climb up onto the thing, but I kept holding it in and grabbing it. I was like, and I could hear her coming. I was like, get up there, and like, luckily when you're in like the sort of the files and the toolbox and stuff, it like pauses the game.
Yes, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. As soon as I press X, I'm gonna like peg it that way. But yeah, it's those intense moments. Again, when you're in the hotel as Grace, it has the same sort of feeling for me, like when I'm playing through, like it's all dark, it's all edge off your seat type stuff. And then when you're Leon, it's like, yes, I get the action side. So I really like the way that they've done that game. I didn't realize it was going to be so quickly switching over. I thought it was going to be like you play as Grace for like 5 hours and then Leon for like 5 hours. But I like the way that it's switching between them and their stories are like building up and sort of intertwining with each other. So I really like the way that they've done that. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm not forcing myself to play it because it's a good game, but I'm sort of forcing myself to play it in terms of I know when I get to one of those horror parts, it's like it's uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable, but I think the game's meant to do that.
Yeah.
And the way that Grace's character is anyway, in terms of like she's almost me in the game in terms of the way she's breathing. She's scared herself. She's like all the sounds, the audio. It's like it's really well done, which is what a horror game should do. And I can't wait to see what happens. Like I keep going on TikTok, and because it is really popular, like a lot of my For You page is just Resident Evil. I'm like having to like swipe past it quickly, but I have seen glimpses of like other monsters, and I'm like, fuck it out. I don't want to get to those parts yet.
Question: have you kept it with the cameras they recommended, as in Grace in first person, Leon in third person?
Yeah, I've left it the way they recommended it for now. I'm playing on standard casual, because I think one was standard classic, which it said if you've played Resident Evil games before, do that one, and then you've got casual as the lowest one. But I'm playing on standard classic at the moment.
Yeah, there was standard modern, standard classic.
And no, sorry. Yeah, I'm playing on standard modern, not classic. Because classic was the Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, I'm playing on standard modern. I think it's just it's just to do with like the saving, and the saving is much more forgiving in the modern.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I haven't got time for shit saves and stuff like that. I mean, what was the game I played recently? Callisto Protocol pissed me off with that kind of stuff. So I'd rather keep it. There's nothing. It's not going to be a difficulty thing other than the saves, from my understanding.
Yeah. And I've kept off like the aim assist and stuff just to make it a bit more like horror sort of playthrough.
Yeah.
So I might switch those things around if I get through and start to struggle certain levels. But for now, I'm quite enjoying the way it's playing and feeling.
Yeah, I mean, before we go into our part, I've kept the cameras as they recommend, and I think it's the best way.
Yeah.
It feels proper horror when you play as Grace, and proper action when you play as Leon. I'm sure the camera does make a difference, especially the first person one. I'm sure Leon still feels really good combat in the first person. I think it would take some of the horror away. I'm saying that Resident Evil 2 is still pretty scary, and that's third person. So,
but I feel like the scariest bits, like when you compare to sort of Resident Evil 7, because it's in first person, it just hits harder.
Yeah,
I think it would take a lot of that away if you had Grace in third person. But I actually think that it's perfect because it's more action, run and gun with Leon. So I think
Yeah,
it's absolutely a perfect balance.
yeah, I totally agree with you. Like when you're running away from the girl, I was like, I was like sort of hoping you couldn't, but you know, when you have the buttons where you can look behind you, you can
Yeah.
obviously
Oh,
hear
how'd you do
her
that?
behind you. No, I'm saying you can't.
Oh,
Like,
got you. Yeah.
I was like, I'm sort of glad they don't have it because like I kind of don't want to look behind me and see this fucking weird thing running at me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you can hear the footsteps, you can hear the sound, and obviously if you're in third person doing that, you can see her,
You might be
sort
able
of
to see
thing.
bits of her.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it sort of takes away like the horror element in that sense if you was to play it in third person. I think anyway. It might
Yeah.
not.
It
You still get
does.
chased by someone, so
Mm.
either way you might be shooting yourself. But when you can't see it, that adds a bit more to it, I think.
Agreed. I won't ask you for a score, Andy, because you're very early on. I will
Yeah.
ask you, Stephen, for your score so far, because we're close to halfway, not quite halfway.
Yeah.
Does feel like it's going to be the longest Resident Evil for a while. That's for sure.
The reports, because I read an article, they were coming in at 18 hours. It says around 12 to 15,
So what I read was
depending.
most playthroughs would be 10 to 12. And then if someone IGN put our fastest person did it in 5 and our slowest did it in 16. So I'm thinking I'm going to end up around 13 to 14, just roughly from where I am now.
I might even lean more towards the 15-hour mark,
Yeah.
only because of the fact of
And I'm trying
exploring,
to do
reading
everything
as
I
many
can. Yeah.
notes. Yeah, so it'd be between 10 to 15 hours, I'm imagining.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it in less than 10. There's no way.
No.
Go on then, Stephen. What are you thinking of the game so far?
Okay, so I was very excited because obviously Friday I had day off work and it was kind of go and watch Scream 7. We bowled it after, but then I was like, there's only one place I'm going to be tonight. Got back home and my package was waiting for me. I got the deluxe edition of the game, which means I've got the steelbook, and I also got loads of I forgot you get loads of character unlocks. So there is one funny that Grace I had at one point. I was testing it. Her dressed as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. I did change it because it did detract from the story because it just looks so weird. It
So you're playing
looks so
third
odd.
person?
No, it's only in the
cutscenes.
cutscenes. So
Got you. Yeah.
obviously I'm playing this first person Grace, but in the cutscenes you can see what she's wearing.
That would put me off.
And I was like, no, I tried it for 5 minutes. I actually do have Grace in the film noir costume, which is something that you can unlock towards the end of the game, but on the digital deluxe edition, you get that straight away. And Leon is now in the film noir, so basically he's just wearing a suit, which suits Leon down to a T. I think it's what he was wearing in Resident Evil 4, directly. And also on the main menu, when I start it, it comes up and it goes Resident Evil. So it's like what you would get on the main menu in the classic games is also, I've put that on. So that's quite cool. I mean, I only got the digital deluxe edition for the steelbook. I wasn't really too bothered about all of the cosmetics, but they're there. I can unlock them. Happy days. It's no surprise that I am in love with this game. I am in love. And when I say I'm in love, I can't think of anything else that I want to do right now than just play Resident Evil. It's only because of football. I don't really want to work tomorrow. I'd rather just play Resident Evil all day. I love it. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, but this to me just feels like, and I know people go, Mr. 10 out of 10. This is generally I'm jaw dropped at the experience of Resident Evil. I'll be surprised if you're not alone with me, Welchy, because it's a stunning piece of work. It's kind of like what they've done is they've gone, right, we're going to take the aspects of Resident Evil 7, we're going to take the aspects of Resident Evil Village, we're going to mesh them together. We're not going to do too much of one and too much of the other. And we're going to give you basically the ultimate Resident Evil experience. And what I played so far, they have absolutely knocked it out of the park in every shape, form, capacity. Firstly, I think that obviously I'm playing it on PS5 Pro, but I feel like it's the nicest looking Resident Evil graphically.
Yep.
The graphics are unreal, just absolutely stunning. It's so realistic. I mean, Resident Evil 7 and Village were. I remember in Village when you go and you see the castle, I was like, wow, that looks really good. But I feel like Capcom have really upped the levels of their graphic. I've never seen a Capcom game look as stunning.
No,
and I don't
this
think
is
that's
unbelievable. And 7, I think 7 now would look quite dated. Obviously, that's like a mid PS4 one now. Not bad.
Like 20.
But I think if you compared them, there'd be a big difference.
Yeah. And that's not like a disrespect to Capcom. like their games, I don't always associate with them being visually like arresting. This is absolutely visually arresting in terms of like they are good, but like they don't wow me. That's not the thing that I think about. Like when I think about Village, I don't think about how great visually it was. I think about the different aspects in the areas of horror. I maybe think that they got so much praise, from in Village that you had like an action, survival, stealth, and then the psychological horror. It's kind of similar in Requiem. What they've done is they've just done it on a wider scale with two different characters. I actually really enjoyed that aspect in Village, and I feel like they've just taken that idea and absolutely run with it. The atmosphere, like the bloodletting, the details, the visual effects, the audio sounds as well. Sort of like for me, I'm on edge a lot of the time in this game. Like I am really on edge. I have jumped multiple times in this, or not necessarily jumped.
I'm happy.
But there's also been moments where I've gone like, fucking hell, like what the and
just to add to that quickly, like when I was playing through on my stream, I was like going through saying like with the audio, like in the hotel bit where you have like the window smash and like the curtains blowing and stuff, and you hear all of that, and then I'm walking out and all of a sudden they've added thunder, and I was like, fucking hell, not thunder as well, it's like classic horror stuff.
Yeah. And what I love is in the beginning of the game when you go through the police sort of tape and you're in sort of getting into the Brentwood Hotel, I was like, oh fuck. I just know where this is going, and like from the early moments where you're investigating like the kitchen and then you go into the main hotel bit. Obviously the flashback we've seen from I recognize that first bit from one of the trailers that we saw. When she's in the room with her mum and the phone rings.
Oh, was that on a trailer? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So I remember that first bit, but then the way that then escalates, I was like, Jesus Christ. I just thought that was like brilliant. And again, I'm so impressed with the change in between Grace and Leon. Because I was like you, Andy, I was like thinking it was going to be you play as Grace for a few hours, then Leon. The fact that it's spicing up sort of every 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes, that it keeps changing, it's kind of keeping me on my toes.
I feel like Welchy's not going to like that part.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. I personally think that it's really seamlessly done. And I think that it's added, like the story is flying as that. There's not a single bit so far that I've played that I'm like, I'm bored. I've spent maybe a little bit of time on some of the puzzles, but as you know, I'm not the massive big fan of the puzzle experience. That's always been the case with Resident Evil. So I reckon I'll probably add a couple of hours onto my playthrough just because I feel like one of the puzzles I went around like in the care facility numerous times trying to find something, and then I found it. But yeah, like I love the first bit with Leon in the street is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Just the action, it feels so nice. Obviously, I know that you won't have the DualSense on, but the DualSense on this is just parallel. It's so good. Like the DualSense when you're walking, it will be if you're in a darker interior, the DualSense is lower, and then in the action bits it goes higher. I was like you've absolutely nailed the different sort of style and spark in all of that sort of sense. This has been the best Resident Evil game for me so far. Literally, I can't wait to play more and see where the story goes. I mean, as I said, I need to go back and play 4 because I don't think I've played it, or if I have, I've done like a few hours. But in terms of like the most recent entry, 7, 8, and 9, this is the best, and I don't see it getting worse from this point. The levels of horror with Grace is just like incredible. Maybe I'm not, because the way that you're looking, Welchy, I don't think you're going to be as aligned as I am, which I'm stunned because I just think it's just absolutely perfection, and it's just been done so
far,
well.
By the way,
so far, I should add, so far, if it needs to carry on in what it's doing. Some of the there's one creature that reminded me of something from Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
Did you think it was the same? I thought it was exactly the same.
For a second, I did.
But then I was like, oh no, it's not.
I almost shit my pants. I was like,
I did. I was like, please don't make me feature this person again. I can't deal with that. And literally, because of that bit where you're having to go up like the different sort of like levels to get 3 things, and every time I'd go into a room, that fucking arsehole would be right there. And same with the bit that both of you worked on, there every single time. What I like about it is that you use light to your advantage. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but the sequence that I'm currently on what she's done, that it's played to your advantage. But there are so many moments where I feel like I'm away, I've escaped, and then literally there was one bit where it dropped straight on my head almost.
Oh,
Fortunately, I was with a place
probably the same bit
where I could have, which I could have then used. Luckily, I had where I could basically use light. I was standing at a place where it happened, but had I not been there, I probably would have been killed. That thing has actually got me once, but actually hasn't killed me. I am playing on casual, so I wonder if it's a little bit lower. I did it on the just because I wanted.
Here it goes.
No, I always enjoy the story. Like, and if it might be that maybe if it carries on, I might give standards a go. But like I said, I just do it on the easiest difficulty just to soak in the atmosphere. And I've still died a couple of times, even on casual, where like I would say that there's probably not much in it between casual and standard. I think it's more so about the saves. One thing that I always forget about Resident Evil is your inventory. I've actually just unlocked something which I've got now 2 extra slots, but fuck me, that annoys me.
Oh, you've only just got that. Did you not do the antique coins in the parlor?
I did, but I think I did it on upgrades for.
Oh no,
like,
I got all of them. So I got everything in that room. You've got the pouch is so important because you're always worrying about what you got holding on to.
Yeah, so I did it more so. I think it was for ammo because my ammo was like quite sparse. So I used the antique coins to get higher on that. But then I was like, now I've got 2 extra slots and I've stored things in the storeroom. So it's not too much problem, but it's constant. You're constantly thinking to yourself, how many have you got? Because I've got loads of antique coins.
If you've only got 2, you get 1 with the antique coins, and I found 2 hit pouches in the game. So it sounds like you missed one.
Oh fuck! Okay, I need to make sure that is a priority to find because I think I've only found 1 hit. But it is because literally in the sequence that I've just done, I had to keep going into the storeroom, dropping stuff down because you need 3 or something, and then I had to then go back. Luckily at the moment I've got 3 extra slots. So yeah, and I definitely would recommend that because it does it.
You'll know what I mean in a minute, Andy, when you get to it. When you get antique coins, save them. You'll find a room where you can use them. Get the pouch.
Yeah, don't go with ammo because actually, if I think about it,
let's get a pouch first.
But they reward you with ammo because I did that, and then I found like 2 handgun mags. So I was like, oh, I don't really need that anyway. So yeah, that's on me. I suppose the other caveat is it adds to the fear, knowing that my inventory is so
I'm still struggling with my inventory with these extra slots.
But at the same point, I'm like, it added more time because I had to keep going back and storing stuff where you save and then coming back out and then going back round. And I'm just usually thinking, right, because I like a lock pick and then you go to some thing that you can interact with and then it wouldn't work. You're like, fuck, I've now got to get something else and then something else. There's some sections in that bit that we've just done where I'm like, I'm scarred. there's one bit revolving just dead bodies, which I was like, oh man. Just so many like amazing moments that are like saying like, yeah, oh man. And then I had a moment of thinking, oh my god, I'm trapped here. What? And then I realized, oh, I've just got to just kill the people. So that was like an action moment with Grace. I do love how sweet Grace is. Sort of like she's just so not a Resident Evil protagonist. I feel like that's going to be a big revelation. You know how like timid and sweet and shy she is.
Yeah,
no, I'm not going to spoil it, but I've just got this hunch. I'm thinking something's not adding up here, and I don't quite know what it is. And also, I think a lot of the enemies are so like just they stay in your mind. Like where in like Resident Evil Village, I felt the enemies were quite pantomime-y. In an essence, where in Resident Evil 7 the enemies were generally terrifying. The enemies in this are absolutely terrifying. I've not come across a single one where I've not found you incredibly creepy. Even like some of the zombies, the way that they interact, or you think that they're dead. And I think there's one I put like 12 bullets into one. I was like, you have to be dead now. And the fuck.
If it's the ones I'm thinking of, they really fuck me off.
Oh mate, they are so annoying, and they ruin and waste all of your ammo at times.
That's one thing I hate about these games is I hate wasting ammo. And if something takes too many bullets, I'm like, I'm glad you're dead, but I'm pissed off because that took way too many. There's one point
The
I
great thing is,
loaded a save. I was like, that's too much. I was like, I'm not doing that. It's way too much.
there's also a great sort of moment where like you pick up, I don't know, like a makeshift knife or a hatchet, and you're like, great, I can like melee and then conserve my ammo. But what then happens is that if you do that too much, your knife fucking breaks.
Yeah,
So I
that's
did
an
that
interesting one. I
on
don't think they've had that before. There used to
no, I don't think they.
be in Resident Evil 2. I'm pretty sure the knives were one use only. To be fair, like you used it to like to stealth kill one with as
Did they
Leon.
have that in Village though? I swear they had that melee in Village, where if you used it too many times, it would then break.
Maybe I can't remember though.
I could be wrong. But so like I'm thinking I'm gonna conserve all of my ammo, not an absolute problem in the world. And then the knife break, and you're like, fuck. And then sometimes that has then resulted in me overdoing that and then getting bitten because I'm way too close to the zombie. There's also a really satisfying moment with Leon in that sequence where I got vengeance on somebody and I was very happy. I was very, very happy. I realized very quickly that I've got to take this person down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to go into spoilers.
No, don't go into spoilers.
Yeah. So score, it sounds like a 10 for Mr. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, if this carries on the way it will be, then
we'll obviously update it in 2 weeks' time.
I'm curious. It might be that like when you start a game and you're absolutely in love, and I've not really spoken to anybody about it, that you might start to say stuff that I then go, oh yeah, I can see that. But right now, in terms of the playthrough, what I've done, where I am, and the fact that I just can't think of anything else but playing Resident Evil, like I don't want to do anything else. It's great. I've been waiting ages for. I mean, we all have, but like I really enjoyed Village. I loved Resident Evil 7. And this game I've been on my radar for so long, and so far it's hit the nail. I mean, I'm having my light switched off, like my curtains drawn, even this morning. So like, my sister came in and she was like, "Why have your light off?" I went, "Playing a horror game. Get with the program. I don't think you can play Resident Evil in any other way to get like the full immersive experience." Maybe not, Andy. Right now, if you're still struggling generally, I probably wouldn't add to it by turning all the lights off and like playing in complete
I just
darkness.
play on when I'd be playing it. Like if I play at night, I'd be playing at night, sort of thing.
But would you have your light switched off?
Yeah, if it's night, I've always have it switched off.
Okay, interesting. I had it on at like midday. I had my light.
When I played Still Waits to Deep, I played that completely at night and lights switched off and stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it down to 10, but obviously we will update it in 2 weeks' time when we've all beaten it. And out of interest, are you going to stream this whole thing, or just when you can stream? What's the dealio there?
I'll try to stream as much of it as possible. Unless there's a reason I specifically can't, then I won't. But yeah, I'm going to try and stream all of it.
Yeah, I've played
the first thing.
I feel like it helps me as well, like having the Twitch stream there. Yeah, definitely.
I've played 7 hours like Stephen, and I think I've done about 5 on stream. Yeah, and
because when I was doing the bit with the girl, I was like, I had Biggs and Jack in the chat or whatever, and I was like,
oh yeah, they didn't.
Guys, what do I do now? Like, you've seen this before? And I was like, this is the first time we're seeing this too. I was like, what? You know what? She's watching history.
No, I did that.
Yeah.
On my lunch break on Friday, that bit.
Yeah, because I was asking like, where's the screwdriver? Because I went into I knew it was in the nurse station. I went in there. Yeah. Obviously, she comes out. I was looking around, couldn't find it first go. Then like had to run out to one of the rooms. I was like, fuck, I haven't got the screwdriver. I have to go back there. And like, yeah, I was asking them, do you know exactly where it is? So I can look straight in that spot. Obviously figured where it was eventually, but yeah, if they had seen it, then I would have.
The bit you're on now is from where I started streaming, so they'll be able to help you from there. If they've been paying attention, obviously.
Hopefully, yeah.
I literally, when I woke up this morning and it popped up saying Andy stream Resident Evil, I was just still about like, I'm going straight onto that. I need to see this in action. So I watched about like half an hour of it, and I was just like, oh, take me back to that opening. I thought the opening is one of the best openings to a Resident Evil game, like with Grace in the hotel. I thought it was great.
Again, for me, 7's opening is just unbelievably good for me.
I think it's on par. It's on par with that opening.
I prefer 7 like comfortably. I don't think they'll ever beat 7 personally, because that intro to that family is just unbelievable, and Mia and everything. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'll give my thoughts on Resident Evil Requiem so far. Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer podcast. Andy and Stephen have given their thoughts so far on Resident Evil Requiem. Now I'm going to give my thoughts. Same as Stephen, 7 hours in. I started, as I said, I think I said in the podcast, or was it before? In the podcast. Friday night, like at midnight, just after I got home from the cinema. Played half an hour, then played another hour on my lunch break on the Friday, and then streamed Friday evening for 3.5 hours, which I don't normally do, but I had a chance to stream for a long time. It was a great stream, really fun, quite a few jump scare moments. Every time Jack would just put ha ha like loads of times every time it happened. And they forced me to, so I sit in my living room with my light off whenever I game at night anyway, just because I'd prefer that. But the kitchen light, like behind me, is always on. And Jack always puts it like a nuclear light because it's like really fucking bright. And he said, "Turn that fucking light off so you can play fully in the dark." And I turned it off, and you could barely see me on the webcam. I was like,
that's the only issue.
I was
with
like,
the
"Do you not want to
webcam.
see me more?" I get that I'm ugly, but anyway. And then they was like, "We can still see you enough." I was like, "Fine, I don't mind. I just thought you'd want to see it better."
Yeah.
And yeah, I still had jump scare moments, and I think turning the light off does help make it scarier. But because it was in a different room anyway, I kind of feel like I'm in the dark, even if it's on. If that makes sense. But anyway,
I always think the best way to experience a horror game
Pitch
is to
black.
play it in complete pitch black. Yeah, definitely.
So what do I think of the game? I love this game. This game is unbelievably good. Unbelievably good so far.
Thank God for that.
I do think it's a love letter to Resident Evil fans, not in a sense of giving you nostalgia for nostalgic reasons. If anything, there isn't much here other than Leon is here. But it's just everything, all the best bits of every game that I've played at least in one. The best example of that is the bit that I'm going to try my hardest not to spoil things for you, Andy, but these things will probably more help you with anything. It's a bit that you're just about to get to. And what I would consider the main bulk of our first 7 hours, Stephen, is basically a very similar style to Resident Evil 2, which I don't think they've managed to replicate since because it's so fucking good. So in Resident Evil 2, you're at the RPD, Raccoon City police station. And you've got like an east wing and a west wing, and you have to go through each side. And like you say, Andy, there's puzzles. You've got something over here, but you can't find the thing you need. It'll be on the other side, and blah blah. And it's all those puzzles are immaculately done in Resident Evil 2. I'm talking about the remake more, and again, incredibly done here. Like so well done.
Well, they even have an east wing and a west wing. Also, I've not played Resident Evil 2. So if that's the case, then that's
you've
literally
got the staircase going up at the front as well. It's very similar. And when I saw the staircase, I was like, this feels like Resident Evil 2, and it is done so well. You've got different floors in those wings as well.
Yeah,
it's different enough, but it's very much Resident Evil 2 style. That section of the game so far, and done incredibly well again. Grace is fantastic, really fucking good character. I like you said, Andy. It feels like how a normal person would feel in these situations. And Leon's great, obviously. He's got some very cheesy lines, which I don't remember being that cheesy in Resident Evil 2, but he's obviously matured a lot and he's got funnier with age, apparently. But Grace is the highlight for me at the minute, in terms of her character, not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of her character. I'm more interested in why she's, what part does she have to play in this? There's something deeper going on. Like, why did Gideon kidnap her? I think that's his name, Dr. Gideon. There has to be something.
As I said, there's something that isn't adding up for me with Grace, and that's why I think about because it's how we would play it. But there's also part of me thinking, is that actually is there more than meets the eye?
I don't think she knows anything. I think she's going to find out at the same time we find out things, because I think she's genuinely like an innocent, normal girl. But I think her mum might have been
unless she's lost memories.
I think her mum might have been up to some shit.
With the flashback, especially, obviously, she hides stuff straight away. So obviously, Alyssa did know more than what she told Grace.
Exactly.
Because she dies before she gets the chance to. But yeah, I think Grace doesn't know what's going on. From what I've seen so far, like, all I know is like she's been kidnapped, he's been extracting blood,
and
she's involved in some way.
Like in terms of what we know about Grace.
Yeah.
Although, wouldn't it be a great like plot twist if it turns out that she does no more.
I don't know. I like her so much at the minute, and
Yeah.
her motivation. I say motivation. It's like her personality so far.
Yeah, I agree.
I will agree with you both on the Leon and Grace side in terms of I love how different they feel. I love that it's a breather. I don't want to spoil this for you, Andy, but it's not as regular as you think it is.
Okay.
I went for a 4-hour section without any Leon.
Really? Didn't feel like 4 hours.
It was definitely 4 hours for me. It was from the hour and a half mark. I got to that bit Andy got to, so basically same as you, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then I did a 3.5-hour stream with no Leon. I kept saying to Jack and Bixie in the stream, I was like, I can't wait to see, like, for you to see how different Leon is. And I got to the end of the stream, I was like, maybe tomorrow. And then the next stream we did, and that was about half an hour into the stream. So it's about 4 hours.
But is that when you get Grace with a gun though? Because it's like that changes sort of the way that you can then use her character. I'm hoping.
And what her character bit, that bit you're about to do, is what I'm calling the Resident Evil 2 bit. But in first person mode, because Resident Evil 2 is second. I mean, you can do it in first person.
And again, I'm trickling for a spoiler. Are you talking about the section about getting the things for the door?
Yeah, you get the free things. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe that. I didn't think of it feeling.
I
must have done the same for me.
I'm not moaning about it because I love that, and it is very Resident Evil 2 and
I just can't believe it.
But...
Yeah, it's weird because my thought process is that it feels regular, but we're at pretty much the exact same bit. So if that's how long you spent as Grace, so would have I to do that bit. Maybe, yeah, I did clock that in terms of.
I think it's more obvious for me because I kept saying to this chat, "You're going to get Leon in a minute," and it never came.
Yeah, because you're streaming.
So I'm noticing.
It's more obvious. Yeah.
But he did come back for a short stint, and I'm back with Grace, and I was like, "Whoa, really? That was quick."
Yeah.
Like, when we got to Leon, I was like, "Here we go. We're going to get even a few hours, 2 hours or something."
Yeah.
And it was like another half an hour. I was like, "Oh, okay. Is this Grace's game with a little bit of Leon?" And it might turn out that at the end of this game is a bigger Leon chunk. I don't know. We don't know what it's going to be. Obviously, we're only 7 hours in.
You definitely spend more time with Grace because there's the longest bit of the Leon sequence. Just when you think it's starting to get going, it then takes you back to Grace.
Yes, exactly.
Like the bit that I did tonight. Yeah.
So
no, that's fair.
I am not going to land on a 10 because for me, I was thinking the second time you play as Leon when you're in the chainsaw bit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I think they've got something here. I think they've got a fucking masterpiece on their hands, and I still think they could land on that. I think this could end up being my favorite Resident Evil if they stick the landing. But at that point, I was thinking I'm going to quite enjoy this constant change of really major horror, and then into the more action side. I'm going to appreciate that break. And there were points in this game where I was thinking I could really do a fucking break now. Like this is stressful shit. And it didn't come. And I was like, oh my god, I've got to keep going with this. And it's fantastic. Like the Grace section is amazing. I actually like them equally. I just wish we was getting more of Leon. And if it turns out that later on we will, great. But I just wonder if they could have paced it slightly differently. I'm not a game developer. They know what they're doing, and I'm not saying this is like an 8. I'm going to say this is at least a 9 right now. That's where I'm landing, which is amazing on our scale. And I think this easily has the potential to go up. I really don't think it's got the potential to go down unless they really fuck something up, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I can see myself landing 9.5, 10. Currently, I'm at 9 just because of that side of things, mainly. I just think the pacing could be slightly amended, but normally we don't have this. So it's a weird thing to criticize when normally it would just be this Grace bit.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting
because they've kind of given us it. It feels like they're also taking it away, saying, "No, you can't have this." And I'm like, "No, that Leon gameplay is so good, and it really is.
Yeah,
so fucking fun to play as him." When the chainsaw guy was coming at me, I was like, "Cool, fine, this is great." Then when it dropped, and I was like, "I could probably pick that up."
Yeah.
When it did, I was like, oh, this is
Do you
the
know what was
shit.
funny though? I was thinking I was so desperate to pick up a chainsaw with just to enact like real violence against him. But as the chainsaw was spinning, I got
It
hit
hurts you
like
again.
twice.
I don't know if you had it
I
as
didn't think it was
well.
gonna hurt me.
I the physics engine in this seems improved massively. Like I shot
Yeah.
one of the zombies picked the chainsaw off the ground, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
shot his legs, and he kind of fell. But because of that, and the chainsaw was still going, he kind of fell and like zoomed into me, like on the floor, like on the ground, like
yeah,
because the chainsaw was sending him through momentum. I was like,
yeah.
oh
I had the
shit.
same. I had similar moments with that bit because at first I was like, when I killed the guy with the chainsaw, I was like, okay, that's it. That's the chainsaw out of the way. It's on the floor. And I was waiting for the guy to get closer so I didn't miss my bullets, like the next zombie.
And he picked
And
it
he
up.
goes down, picks up the chainsaw. I was like, you fucker. I did not think they'd add that into the
Yeah.
game. But I thought it was a pretty cool thing. And
Yeah.
like you say, with the chainsaw, at one point when I killed the guy, he fell forward and the chainsaw came flying towards me. So I
Yeah.
actually had to move out of the way so it didn't hit me. It's just small details which add so much to
Yeah.
Plus,
that
the level
gameplay.
of detail in this game is probably the best level of detail I've seen in the Resident Evil game up to this point. Generally, like in Seven and Village had great detail, but this is on another planet. Seriously.
I do also think the puzzles are a bit easier in this game than previous games. I went through the
I'm happy
first
with that.
this great section that I've done. Obviously, there's more to come, um, and I didn't struggle with any of them. Like there was no
No,
issue at all. Like with two, I remember being stumped on a few things, and maybe it's just because I've played enough Resident Evils now where I know what they're trying to tell me to do. It might just be that. So
yeah.
Andy, you might come here
Yeah,
in
you
two
know that
weeks
pattern.
going, fuck me, like I was stuck on this one for ages, and I'll be like, oh, but yeah, but that
I
I might have
think
been number two or
that
something.
that puzzle, the first bit, the one of three, the first one I was a little bit like it took me a while to get my head around, but then like the second one, based on the files that you pick up, I was like, that's one
The
easy. And
pictures,
then the
yeah,
third
yeah.
one, yeah. So that side of it, it was just the first one that I was a little bit stumped on, sort of the arrangement of the order. But again, if I had played probably two, that would have been like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I've got to do there in that sense.
Wait, the first one you need the pencil. Did you not pick up the pencil?
I did in the end. It took me a while to
Okay,
get round to that.
yeah, okay. Because
Yeah,
otherwise you wouldn't know at all what to
yeah,
do.
no,
Fine, I get
no.
you. Yeah, that's the
I was
thing.
trying to
The
work
answer's always
out.
there.
I was
It's
trying.
always there. You
I
just got
was
to find
trying
it.
to work out. Funny enough, like thinking that I tried lots of different. I was like thinking that's not helping me. I feel like right, there's got to be something here that's going to help me with that, and that's when I came across the pencil.
Yeah.
But had I got the pencil on that beforehand, and then the second one, I was like, right, I now need to look for something specific on probably the desk, and it's
Straight away.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. And then the third one also made sense. And because of a bit of dialogue that you have with a set character beforehand, I was like, I already had clocked that I had to go back to that set point
Yeah.
even before we got to it.
So yeah, I think it's amazing. I really like this Dr. Gideon. He's really creepy.
Yeah,
Really
massively.
fucking creepy and massive. I didn't realize how big he was until he picked Leon up. I was like, oh shit.
yeah.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying Leon. There's the person that he's talking to on the other end that I think we'll find out more about them at some point. I don't want to say anything else because when you saved it with the Grace at the gun thing, did you do anything with her at that point?
No, I said,
Got through the
I
barrier
was
and
like,
stopped it.
yeah, I was like, oh, what has it automatically saved here? And then like Biggs was in the chat, he's like, oh, there's a save ring right next to you. I was like, okay, where is it? And basically told me where it was. So I saved out the
Okay.
typewriter.
In about 5 seconds of gameplay later, you're gonna find out something.
Oh, okay.
Like you're literally in the room essentially.
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to
Yeah,
say
you'll
anything
go through
about
a door
that
and something will
until
happen.
I don't
Yeah.
want to say anything about that at all.
There's-
But that's
Yeah.
interesting.
What I will also say, which is that there's a bit when you're being in first person where it's a stick mechanic. It's so cleverly done. There's a bit with that set person where it restricts you in doing
Sorry,
something.
yes. Yeah.
And I thought that was
That's
great. And
stressful.
the way, and then you can see like as well. That was yeah. I found that incredibly stressful. And actually, I did that through. I didn't attack essentially, so I was quite impressed by that.
Yeah, neither did I. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I thought because but there's what you can do, and I like the game says for you to get what needs to be done.
yeah, but
And I was like,
there's only one place you could do it, and I was like, I can't bother to do that.
I know I couldn't be bothered to keep
Yeah.
going to that same place
Yeah.
either, so I thought I'm just gonna like
We're
avoid and hope for the
we're
very
going
best.
very around this because of Andy, obviously, and anyone else
Yeah.
obviously listening.
It will make a lot more sense when you
Yeah.
get literally to the next bit of that.
But no, it's a fantastic game. I think it deserves the critic scores it's got so far. Obviously, again,
Yeah.
we're talking so far. Very interested to see how this is going to end. From the trailer, it looked like Leon goes back to the police station at some point. Fuck knows when that's going to happen
Yeah.
right now. But yeah, I'm just loving it. I just want a bit more Leon. Not because
think I
I'm
also,
not liking Grace, but because he's in this game. I just want to play him a bit more. And
Yeah.
he's so fun to play as.
I think what I'm also liking is the intersecting between, like, so you'll do something as Leon, which will then have a direct consequence of Grace when you next play it. I like that. I think that's really, that intertwining is working quite nicely.
Yeah, they've done it masterfully. It's just the Leon sections go by so quick. I don't know if it's just by design because of his play style. Well, it's not. It's not because of that. It's because I think they're saving him for later, to be honest.
Yeah, I would think that's
my gut
probably
feel.
what's happening with this.
I don't know what else there is to say without spoiling things, unfortunately, Andy. Yeah,
I don't know if
wanna...
I'm looking forward to playing more of this or not, knowing now that it's going to be like I said, like with the switching of characters being so sort of constant.
You're going to have a lot of time with Grace. But it's all good. It's not bad gameplay.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's just
Yeah,
obviously stressful.
One of my positives to start with was the first thing I said was switching between the two characters gave me that breather from the horror elements to be able to have the fun action-packed stuff. So we'll have to see how I feel after having a long period, Grace.
Your next two sections with Grace are intense and at times absolutely terrifying. Like, I can't say it every way. There are moments in particularly the second part, like literally nerve-inducing terror. It revolves heavily around darkness as well. So just so you're prepared that and now that I'm thinking about it, you are with Grace for a long bloody period of time.
But again, it's good. It's very, very good.
Do you know what it is though? It's weird for me. I think I love it so much that I don't actually clock that, and because it's not been streaming. Like I love the action pieces, but I feel like I love being scared, so that it doesn't feel as long because I'm like, inject this into my veins. Like, the scarier the better. So it's a weird sort of dynamic. And I imagine maybe if there was only one gripe for people, if like you enjoy one character more than the other, maybe you could start to find issues with that.
Well, I think people that really love Resident Evil, particularly number 4, and people that really love Leon will be like, oh man, where the fuck is Leon? Like, and I'm not that guy. I love Leon, but not. It could have been Chris Redfield. I wouldn't really mind who it was, Leon or Chris.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's a lie. I think Leon's the best one. But anyway, I'm not doing it for that sense. It's more, I want that gameplay back because I know how fun that gameplay is. Again, not saying anything bad about Grace's one. I think it'd be better to have a bit more mix.
Do you think we're going to get any like nods to like the Winter story in this, or do you think it's going to be completely separate? Because I know it's not a continuation.
I think it'll be separate.
But I wonder if
this feels very much Resident Evil 2, T-Virus, the original events in Resident Evil 2. Yeah. Maybe an Easter egg here or there. Maybe. I kind of assumed Resident Evil 9 would be the final of the trilogy of the Ethan Winters, but they've obviously, I think, just canned it.
Or maybe they're going to revisit Ethan Winters in 10, maybe. I mean, I would say that the Easter egg to that character that we mentioned, I feel like is an absolute nod to that one of the bosses in Resident Evil Village. Again, I don't want to spoil it until Andy gets to it.
Yeah. The first image I got of him, I was like, uh-oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
And obviously it wasn't. That is one of the biggest jump scares I had in the game, that bit. It really got me.
Joe, I was playing that sequence with James yesterday. I showed him a bit of Resident Evil Requiem. And he was like, wow, that's a really fat person.
No spoilers for Andy.
No, I'm just saying, there's no spoiler. They're just really fat. And I did then respond with, that's the least of my worries at this particular moment in time. It really is the least of my worries.
So there you go. That is our review so far of Resident Evil Requiem. As I said, we'll be reviewing it in full in about 2 weeks' time. Mostly because I actually imagine, Stephen, you could probably finish it this week. But I can't. I will not be playing until at least after we record our next episode. So I should have it done in 2 weeks. Andy, hopefully you do too. And then we can come back and give our full reviews and see if Stephen sticks on a 10 or if I stick on a 9 and get Andy's score, obviously.
Yeah. I've got a number of Sidwell trips in football, but when I'm not, I'm going to probably over the week dip in and out and then have a full session over the weekend. So, yeah,
and
we'll see. I don't want to.
So it's...
I've got 2 weekends to do it. So, yeah, it will definitely be done. I mean, but it's more so just to keep playing it, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Before we go, anything else we've been playing? On the same day that Resident Evil Requiem launched, they launched Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red on the Nintendo Switch. So I've been playing that. I've played about 5 hours of that as well as my 7 hours of this. So I've been playing a lot.
Cool.
Absolutely loving it. All the memories come flooding back straight away of playing.
Yeah,
the
doing all
original
the
games.
pictures in Discord, man.
So good. Even on a big screen, you'd think it maybe would be like look weird on a bigger screen because obviously it's much bigger than the Game Boy Advanced. It's fantastic. And I was playing. I went to play Nintendo Switch Sports with my daughter again earlier. We've been playing it a fair bit, but I'd left Leaf Green on, so actually Leaf Green went onto the telly, and I was like, "Oh, I could play this on the telly." I'd never thought about playing Leaf Green on the telly. So I'm playing that, and I'm going to continue to play that in my like spare moments. It's an easy pick up and play 10 minutes and put it down again game. Other than that, that's it. It's been is that it? What Resident Evil come out Friday? I don't think I played anything else in the week. Unless I'm forgetting something massive. No, I think that's it. Have you guys played anything else other than Resident Evil Requiem?
No, I don't think I played anything before it.
I did play a little bit more God of War Sons of Sparta, but not much. Stephen?
I have just finished. Well, I'm doing a bit of Master Career in the FC 26.
Yeah.
We spoke about it briefly last week. I beat Man City in the FA Cup, but I lost out on the league by a point. They lost
like
Aston
this
Villa.
season, isn't it?
Yeah, but funny enough, so they lost to Aston Villa in the penultimate game. I beat Sheffield United, so I got it back from 4 points to 1 point. I had Man United away, and they fucking Tottenham at Tottenham Stadium. So I was like, this is great. And it's when I was playing the game, I didn't get any notification. So I was like, going down the route of, it must be 0-0. And then it flashed up that they were 3-0 up. So I was like, fuck's sake. But I've got a Champions League final against Napoli. So I would like to win that. I won the league last year. And then I'm gonna give it probably a third season to try and win everything. The only other thing I haven't won is the Capital One Cup. Carabao Cup. I want to try and win all of the trophies and try and do like an unbeaten season, like one of the hardest difficulties. So that's kind of my plan. But yeah, it's annoying. I was like, oh, we've come second. Nice move.
We're used to that, Stephen. We're used to that around here.
We're used to that, yeah.
Cool. Well, that's going to do for this week on the Late Night Gamer podcast. Let us know your thoughts on Resident Evil Requiem. Drop your thoughts in the comments or tag us on socials at the Late Night Pods. We'd love to hear from you. You can also join.
Do you have any comments?
Not on Resident Evil.
Playing it?
No. You can also join our Discord using the link in the description to be able to get your messages in before we record our episodes. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you are listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Speaking of which, only one episode this week, this one. I'm not around to do a second one, but we're back next week with our usual 2. And the first one of those is going to be our Pokemon Pocopia review. I probably would have only put like an hour into it at that point, but Jack should be joining us to come on, and he would have probably put a lot more than me at least. So he'll be coming on to review that, and we'll probably obviously give an update on our Resident Evil Requiem playthroughs as well. Until then, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I've been your host, Welchy, joined as always by my co-hosts, Andy.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. Enjoying Resident Evil so far. Let's see how that continues. See you next episode.
And Stephen.
Yeah, been a pleasure. Absolutely in love with Resident Evil and can't wait to play more.
Thanks again for listening and keep on gaming.